How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins submitted to the workshop this week. If you're new, that means these skins have been submitted to the workshop, but not all of them necessarily will make it into the game. The devs usually only pick about 8 or so a week. So let's jump into it. Our first one is actually going to be some boots for you here. And these are all sorts of scrappy and put together. They fit right into the theme of Rust. These are the hard suit boots by Shedmon. And yeah, definitely very, very cool. Something that really fits into Rust. It just looks like it's straight up made with welded and tied and yeah, it's tied together with like metal wire. Probably not the most comfortable there, but definitely very, very rusty. Next, we got something on the brighter side. It's the Flower Power set by Morpheus, and as you can see here, it is very rainbowy with many flowers all amongst around it. And yeah, I think I'm making up words there, but as you can see, the whole thing kind of looks like there's like little cutout metal flowers put all over it, and yeah, it's definitely something I could see everyone running around in Rust with. Next, we see a new version of the Space Raider HQM set, and you can see it's gotten completely new artwork on the front here. You've got the 2 space, there's the little guy on the Saturn and the rocket blasting off in the background. Same thing with the face mask here. You've got a little guy on the side, the 2 space, and everything just kind of changed around. And I really like the back of it, actually. The new design looks really cool. Kind of looks like the rocket's jetpacks. It's definitely a sweet little redesign for sure. Next, we've got the Tiki chest plate and face mask for you. And this one looks like it's made out of wood, so it's kind of like a metal plate with some wood protection over the front of it. And I think I kind of like the little detail to that. It's definitely a nice little change there. Then you've got all these kind of beads on the back, and some painted on look of kind of like feathers here on the side, as you can see, and then up front you've got the Tiki mask going on. And last but not least, for our armor, we've got the Cobalt set for you by Diaz, and yeah, this thing is a very shiny, very new age militaristic kind of look to it, and it's definitely something I can see a lot of people liking for that reason. And yeah, it just has this kind of light blue, cobalt colored armor panels and so forth, and the face is pretty mean. It kind of reminds me of a mix of a hockey mask and something for paintball. So yeah, I can see a lot of people liking it for those reasons. All right, let's jump into our deployables. Starting out here, we've got the Idle Furnace by GBG. And as you can see, it definitely looks like it's carved out of wood. You've got these kind of twisted tree branches or roots kind of thing going on in the back. I think they're twisted tree branches, but who knows? Definitely very cool looking. And we'll go ahead and light it on up there, and you'll see the eyes light up all creepy like, and the mouth even has some, and there's like a pattern on the inside even. And yeah, I definitely think it's a very cool design for sure. Moving on, we've got another airmail box for ya. This one is the components version, and right here, Oscar Miller, 55 Rust Street. As you can see, components are checked off down there on the side. And yeah, apparently it's 20 kilograms worth. There you go. And on the side, you've got a gear. So there you have it. Next over here, we've got a continuation in the scientific storage boxes with a diving box. Not sure how many people would actually appreciate this one completely, but there's definitely been times where we have boxes full of diving gear, so why not? You know what? It makes sense to me at least. So there it is, the diving box for you. Next, if you are a fan of chess, this box might be for you. The chest, there we go, say that 20 times, is by Jessen, is right here. It's got some fancy little horses on the side there. All the different chess pieces along the rim on the top and bottom, and yeah, there you go. Definitely a fancy, nice box. Then we've got a very shiny box over here for you. This one is the Light Case by Robstar, and yeah, it's just a very, very shiny metallic case for you there. And in case you're wondering, it says case. And just in case. Anyways, moving on, we got some rugs for you, starting out with the Mad Base Rug by Duck. And this looks like some wood panels with a sign on it. It's just, oh man, this is a really cool looking rug. I love the neon sign kind of ideas. This is definitely one I think a lot of people would love to see. And there's so much great, like, detail done to it. It looks like so many separate pieces when it's really just a flat thing. Then over here, we've got ourselves another rug, and it just kind of stares right back at you. This is the Evil Eye Rug by Stabby McStabbyface. And yeah, as you can see here, it just kind of stares on off into your soul. Look at that. And it's actually a rug that looks like a rug. You know, you think that wouldn't be such a rare thing, but most rugs turn into like posters or billboards or something, you know? Moving on, we've got some doors for you. Starting off over here, we've got a very beautiful wooden door for you. This is the traditional wooden door by Kivahu. And yeah, it's just got these very nice little iron details on it. On the back here, you can see there's some more going on. Definitely a very nice door. Then over here, we've got a double wooden door for you, and it is part of the Outer Planets set. So yeah, it would be a glowing wooden double door. A lot of people have been asking for this kind of stuff because there's not too many of them, so I could see this one being a good seller if it made in this week. Next, we've got some sheet metal doors for you, starting out with this happy little flower over here. This is, well, the Happy Flower sheet metal door. I just said, oh, it's a happy flower, and I forgot that was completely the name, so hey, that works out, right? Then we've got something spray can related over here with a spray skull metal door, and it has some very mean looking art that is definitely quite cool. It has a glowing and a non-glowing version, so we'll show you that here shortly. Then we've got more of a steampunk thing kind of going on over here with the steampunk sheet metal door. Definitely really well done with all the little gears and so forth right here, and it fits in quite well with the actual look of the sheet metal, I'd say. Next, we've got a sheet metal door of the Ultra door, and yeah, it's got that ultraviolet glow and that Arctic suit right there. There's the garage door previously, and now I think it translates pretty well to the single metal door. Speaking of garage doors, we've got a couple of them for you here, starting with this one right here. This is the Ruin garage door by Bad Trip. And as you can see, it has a glow and a non-glowing version. And yeah, you can kind of see it glowing right now. It's kind of the shiny parts. We'll be able to show you that here in a second when we hit the lights. Then over here, we've got another garage door for you. It is the airlock garage door. So we saw the sheet metal door, and now we've got a garage door version of it. Of course, there is a transparent and a non-transparent version of it. So we'll just have to see how that goes there. And then with our last garage door here, it is quite friendly. This is the emoji garage door, and yeah, it's got mostly happy emojis on it, but we know how Rust is. No matter how much fun you're having, there could always be a bad day. So I think this door just kind of fits with the mood of it quite well. Last for our deployables, we've got an armor door for you, and no, your screen isn't going weird and my video quality isn't down. This is the Pixel Armored door. And yeah, everyone loves the Pixel set, and I think it translated really well, especially with like the rust drip on it. It just really is quite a good addition to the Pixel set. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the glow on these. Then you can see the Ruin door. As I said, it was kind of those glowy gems. You can see it much better now. There's that ultraviolet glow on this one. Come on down to the spray can. Very cool glow. And there's a non-glowing version, so do remember that. There's a chance that we might not get the glow. There's that wooden Outer Planets door. And then, oh, look at the glow on the rug. Changes the color of the eye completely, which I think is very, very cool. Then we've got that Mad Base Aeropotent right there. We can cruise on down to the scientific diving box here. And lastly, we've got that furnace. Do a nice little spin around here. Very well done. All right, let's get into those tools and weapons. And the first thing we've got here is this very glowy hammer for you. This is the Toxic Hammer by La Crempe. And man, yeah, this thing looks like it is leaking radiation for sure. Next, we've got a couple rocks for you, starting out with the Bear Meat Rock. Man, I wish you could add sound effects to skids, because if they could make a squish every time this hits, that would just be amazing. But definitely a very funny rock. Speaking of funny rocks, we've got this one here, and it's really kind of a simple rock, but the more you look at it, just the googly eyes are really well done. They actually look kind of like stuck on googly eyes for real. And then there's like smears of dirt and stuff here on it. And, you know, it really does look like something somebody in-game made. And I think that's what gives it kind of that endearing factor. Next, we've got another weird rock for you, and this one, it may stare at you in various areas, and if you're wondering, yes, those are multiple lips and eyes and everything everywhere. This is the Sculptor's Training Rock. See, now it makes sense. You're becoming a sculptor, and you learn to make the various body parts, and this creepy rock has them. Next, we've got a bow for you, and this one is all sorts of shiny. This is the geometric gradient bow. There we go. And we'll go ahead and draw that string back. Spin around, let the light hit it differently there. You can see the different shininess. And last in this clump here, we've got an Ioka for you. And this one has a lot of different little artwork on the side. This is the Aztec Treasure Ioka by Dio. And yeah, there you go. You can see some Aztec symbolism and creatures on the sides there with some gems and some skulls. Because the Aztecs definitely did like their sacrifices. Alright, next we've got a DB for you. And this one is made up of all sorts of spare electrical parts. This is the Railgun Double Barrel Shotgun. So yeah, you can see all the electric wires and coils and so forth, and it kind of makes me wish we could have like a makeshift railgun in Rust. Maybe one day. But hey, this skin might be the closest thing we get. It's definitely a cool use of the DB. Aiming down the sights here, you've got some kind of rusty and crustiness going along, but you've got some little lightning bolts there to remind you that it is, in fact, an electrified shotgun. Now, that would be cool too. Hey, maybe when we get custom weapons, right? Or, you know, moddable weapons, I should say. Next, we've got a python for you, and this one is quite a snaky looking one. This is, well, the snake python. When you aim down the sights, you've actually got those snake eyes, fangs, and the tongue is the hammer. It's just a lot of creativity going into this one here. Very cool. Even like the little pattern on the actual chamber there. Very cool. Next, we've got a sap for you. This one is more on the bright and shiny side. This is the Waves of Dawn sap pistol. So there you go. Definitely cool. Aiming down the sights here, you've got kind of like a little digital effect, and just kind of normal black kind of against the gold for the sights there. Next, we've got a continuation in the Neo Souls set with the Neo Souls SMG. And yeah, I think this really translated well to the Thompson quite well. It looks really good, and I could see this Thompson selling really well if it made it into the store. Aiming down the sides here, you've of course got that kind of, glowy aqua color against the black and greens there. Is it really green, blue? You know, colors, man. There you go. Next, we've got another Thompson for you, and this one is all sorts of bright and colorful, and is, well, the colorful Thompson. Hey, I keep saying the name when I describe him. That just seems to keep happening today. But one way or another, it definitely looks like it was tie-dyed or dipped into some paint. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a blue sight against the kind of random colors there. Next, we've got an MP5 that might look familiar to you, and that is because we've had an accepted door with this art on it. This is the Hellgate MP5. And I think it translated pretty well, actually, onto an actual weapon, so we'll have to see how people feel about that one there. Aiming down the sights, though, is a little bit disappointing. There's not much of anything going on. It's a lot of extra blank space there. Wish something would have been done with that, however. Next up, we've got another MP5 for you, and this one actually is quite cool. This is the standard issue MP5 by FaZe, and as you can see, you know, it's basically a default MP5, but it's not the usual black color. It is made to kind of look more kind of like a polymer, more modern kind of weapon update to it. Definitely is a very sleek and clean look. I feel a lot of people would like. And then aiming down the sights, you've got a red versus that neon green. It does look like low sights. It's not, but very well done. Next, we've got another MP5 for you, and this one is on the brighter side. This is the Space MP5 by Milo, and is a continuation in his Space set, and has all sorts of bright colors for you. Aiming down the sights there, you've got some purple versus yellow versus blue going on. Go ahead and pop a reload. And there we have it. Next, we've got a SAR for you, and this one is obviously part of the Quarantine set. And yeah, it definitely translated pretty well to the SAR. You've got that huge pustule there on the side, and aiming down the sights here, you've got that big glossy, shiny, sight going on. Pop a reload there. Next, we've got some AKs for you, starting out with this one right here. This is the AR Skull Killer. And man, this has got some really cool artwork on it. I definitely really love that art. And then the AK itself has a lot of other little details here and there. Lots of different colors to it. Every little part is kind of colored up or changed a little bit, and that's always really nice. A lot of times when you get these things with really amazing art on the side, they kind of just color over the rest of everything, and it's nice to see the details get some color on this. Aiming down the sights there, you've got a kind of like more cartoony looking skull. There is a reload. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one is all sorts of piratey. This is the Kraken AK-47, and yeah, as you can see, it has some octopus tentacles going for that Jolly Roger there. Aiming down the sights, you've got a pirate captain kind of guy with eye patch there. Go ahead and pop a reload. And there we have it. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one is a little more on the fantasy side. This is the Tombstone Undertaker AR, and yeah, it has that same look as those tombstones that we've seen on the door, and it's got that rip right here, very appropriate for Rust, and then it's covered in some beautiful ivy. Next up, we've got one more AK for you, and this one literally fell in the mud. This is the Mud Runner AK by Retro. And yeah, man, beat up and messed up looking is the idea. Man, this one takes the prize home. You can still see some of the colors under there from the AK, but man, this thing, there you go. Don't know if this is something people want to see. It's always something different that could be very interesting, and this is very different. So sound off, guys. How do you feel about the Mud AK? Next, we've got an LR for you, and this one has some cool artwork on the side. This is the LR300 Graffiti. Now, with this one here is kind of like I said earlier, where the paint kind of just goes over the parts. So if you look at the front of the LR, it's kind of just red and black, not much going on with it. Some of the details kind of get lost in there. So that was kind of what I was talking about earlier. But still, regardless, it is a pretty nice looking gun. And again, nothing too much used with all of this blank space here other than coloring it in. Remember, guys, a lot of time is spent aiming down the sights with gunplay. Next, we've got an L9 for you, and this L96 is the Rainbow Pony one, of course, because, well, there's a pony vomiting a rainbow up onto you, so, what else could it be, right? Lots of little gold trim there, and some sad clouds, and happy clouds, and angry clouds, and everything you would expect. Even a bright little star when you aim down the sights there. Next, we've got another L96 for you, and this one is a wooden one. This is the Poacher's Rifle, and yeah, it just has a very simple, nice wooden design to it. You can see a lot of people liking it just for the fact that it almost looks like a completely different rifle. Next and lastly, we've got the Glistener M249. This is definitely a good choice. I can see this M2 being very popular for that. And yeah, it's just a good addition to the set. Like the red on the bullets, I think that's actually a nice little addition there. Looks quite cool. There you go, you can see it. Aiming down the sights, you've got a little bit of a kind of like a red hue to it. And then a red tip on the sight. So there it is, everyone. That is the skins from the workshop this week. Thank you for watching. Sound off down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping for the most and why. Always love hearing that, and any kind of feedback, I'll try to get to the right people. As always, thanks for watching, and stay rusty.